Hey. Welcome to another awesome, phenomenal episode of Girl Talk with Virginia. And today we are going to dive into how you can start your 2021 off with a bang by being committed. See, you have to get a head start on your 2021 by being committed to your goals and obligations in order to see the results that you want. And there are some vital keys in order for you to be committed and to continue your strides and your goals and your achievements all year long. Okay, it's not just a new year committed, it's a year long lifetime committed. But today I'm going to give you some tips and tools of the trade to help you to get your 2021 started right by staying committed and making sure that as a no ordinary woman, you live your extraordinary life. So, what do you need to do to ensure that 100% of 2021 is better and more prosperous than 2020? That's a question you have to ask yourself. What do you need to ensure 100% that 2021 is going to be off the charts, especially from 2020? You can't help but go up after what we've been through in 2020. So how do you ensure that you go up and you don't stay stagnant and you don't decline in 2021? And if you been following me for a minute, if you've subscribed to the YouTube channel, you pretty much already know my story of when I was a young single mother with 4 kids and I had this overwhelming routine of work, school, and kids. I would go to school in the daytime and they would go to school. Then after school, I would go to work while they were at daycare. And then after work, I go get them from daycare. And then, we do our bedtime routines of homework, eating, getting ready for the next day. So it was an overwhelming routine. And today, about 20 years later, I kind of wonder, how did I do all of that? It was a lot. But I stood the course. I was successful. I graduated. I got my career in education and continued to strive and to do the things that I wanted to do to be the no ordinary woman that I am today. But how did I do that? I was committed. Commitment is everything. You can have 100 goals for the year, or you can have one goal for the year. But if you are not committed to making that goal happen, it won't happen. You will slack off, you will become stagnant, and before you know it, you'll act like you never knew that you had that goal going on because you didn't stand the course. You wasn't committed. So today, we're going to give you some tips and tools to help you build your commitment so that 2021 can be your best year ever. So how easy was it for you to change your mind? Or how easy is it for you even now to change your mind? Like you start off saying, okay, I'm going to do A, B, and C. And then by the end of the week, by the end of the year, or whichever one it may be, you end up changing your mind. Well, guess what you need to do to stop changing your mind so much? Reduce your options. If you don't have a lot of options to choose from, you don't have anything to change your mind about. So when you set a goal, you need to only give yourself at least 2 options, okay? I call it having a plan A and a plan B. So plan A would be the main commitment, right? Your main goal, which you should be focusing on and making sure you're burning the midnight oil on, and everything that you do surrounds that plan A goal. But then, of course, you need to have a plan B. So you should have only 2 options, really, a plan A and a plan B. But plan B will only be a slight variation from plan A. You don't want to give yourself too many options, right? So you have plan A, your main commitment, and then plan B will be a tweaked backup of plan A. Reduce your options. Less options means less talking yourself out of your goals, which each equals more commitment to stand the course and get it done. So, number 1, reduce your options. And guess what? Do you need a motive? Of course you need a motive. You need motivation. You need a reason. You need a why you should do whatever it is you're committed to. That will help you to complete your mission of being committed. So what is your why? When you are committed to something and you have a goal, you need to keep that at the forefront of any of your brain, so that when you are faced with any obstacle or any barrier, you are thinking about, I have to overcome it, I have to achieve this, I have to stay committed, because your why is stuck at the top of your head. And so every time you think about that why, all of the obstacles, all of the barriers are gone, because you are steadfast, committed, dedicated, and focused on your why. Years ago, when I was a single mother going to school, working and kids, my why was that I wanted to be successful, to ensure that my kids didn't have to go through the struggle that I did growing up. Okay, you want to have a why. So my why was to make sure that I was able to provide a easier life, and to be a role model for my kids and any other kids in the family. So my why of staying dedicated and committed was very important to me, because I didn't want to let my kids down, and I didn't want to let any other child or nieces or nephews or whoever was looking up to me, I didn't want to let them down. So that why drove me to continue to work school kids, no matter how hard it got, no matter how many no's I was told, no matter how many sleepless nights I had. I was committed. I kept going, because I had a strong enough why that kept me from giving up or being stagnant or fizzling out from what my goal was. So have a why. And a good goal right now, which is what the theme of 2021, the theme we're going into, is no ordinary woman is looking for her extraordinary life. That should be your goal. Okay? As a no ordinary woman, which means you defy all obstacles, you don't let any statistics or any barriers keep you back. You are a no ordinary woman, and your goal is to live an extraordinary life. That's your goal. That's your why. If you didn't have one, I just gave you one. Good morning, Janice Manning. And Queen B, that's me. Hey, thank y'all for tuning in. I wish I had the support of loved ones. I know, Queen B, but sometimes when you don't have the support of loved ones, we would love for our family to support us, but you don't always have to just stick with family. There are other communities, which next week with the Girl Talk with Virginia, I'm going to talk about how to use other sources of community to help you to get the support that you need to be that extraordinary lifestyle, to live that extraordinary lifestyle. But a lot of times we unrealistically think it's supposed to be family, but it doesn't always have to be family. It would be lovely, but there are other ways to find the support that you need for love, from that you need to be the person that you want to be, right? So that's phenomenal. So, but tune in next week. I got something special for you about community and building that support you need in your life so that you can live your extraordinary lifestyle. That's a great insight. I appreciate you for sharing that comment. So let's recap. Number one, reduce your options. Stick to a plan A and a plan B. Number two, you need a motive, a why. That gives you motivation to push forward and continue through obstacles and other things that you may be facing when you're trying to stay committed and stay the course. And then number three is, what is your track record for completions? Like sometimes you have to do that self-assessment, right? Like you have to keep your track record. You have to step back sometimes when you feel yourself slacking on being committed to your goals and trying to live your extraordinary life. You have to sit back and do a self-assessment, a real self-assessment. See, people don't like making self-assessments because some people don't like the truth. But the thing about the truth is your truth. And other people don't have to know what you're self-assessing and what's going on, which goes back to what Queen B was saying about having a supportive loved ones. Because sometimes when you tell certain people your dreams and ideas, they kind of kill your dreams and their family and loved ones. So you're like, okay, what type of person is you? You're my family. You're supposed to be supporting me, but sometimes they will kill your dreams. But you can, there's ways to find the support that you need from the people that you deserve to get it from, so that you could continue trying to reach your goal and stay committed to your extraordinary life. But when you self-assess your barriers being realistic, and then the actions to get past them. So you assess your barriers, like make a list, okay, for previous times when you've made a commitment and you couldn't follow all the way through your commitment, like make a list of that, make 2021, the things I wanted to do in 2021, but I didn't quite get to the finish line, or any other year prior to 2021. Make a list of those barriers or the things that you wanted to do that you didn't follow through with. And then strategically put in place some actions next to each one to help you to stay committed to them. Actions can be your why. They can be, hey, I need a better community that supports me, right? Hey, I need to take some classes. I need to go to some trainings. I need to read some books, some self-help books or whatever it may be. But whatever you assess that your needs are that kept you from getting into your to being committed to the goal that you made, there's ways to get over those barriers. But you do have to be committed. Like, that's life is just barrier after barrier, right? You do something, you set a goal, then you get to where you thinking you about to be on a good path, you get a good a good roll going on getting to your goal, and then bam, something is in the place to stop you. But guess what? As a no ordinary woman who wants an extraordinary life, you'll find ways to overcome those barriers, positive ways. Positive people. Surround yourself with positive people and positive communities to help you to stay strong and to stay motivated in getting over those barriers so you could continue to be committed to your goals and whatever it is you need to have your extraordinary life. Okay? So, number one, reduce your options. You have too many options, it's too easy to talk yourself out of what it is that you should be committed to. Number two, you need your motive, your why, your motivation of why you want to do whatever your goal is to help you stay committed. Number three, that self-assessment is very important. Don't just do it at the new year. The thing about being committed is that it shouldn't just be a new year, new me type of exercise. It should be a lifestyle routine. You should be self-assessing yourself at least 1 to 2 times a week. Because if you are going on the wrong path, you don't want to do it for a consistent amount of time. You want to be able to catch whatever it is that you're doing that you need to fix before it gets too far out of hand. And that's how a lot of people lose motivation and they stop being committed, is because they wait till months and months and months when the commitment or the goal is so far out of reach till you just give up. So if you self-assess yourself routinely and realistically see where it is that you need to get back on track from where you left off track or you got off track, then you can fix it quicker, and then you start seeing results like every week instead of waiting till months. Oh, I haven't seen a result yet, I'm going to give up. You know why you haven't seen a result? Because you didn't do your self-assessment to see if you did get a result or not. So you have to do that. Results come from assessing yourself and then restructuring your path and your actions to match where you're trying to go or where you didn't go. They kind of threw you off. Yes, Miss Queen B, it's right on. I'm my hardest critic. Yes. And like you said about your loved ones not supporting you, when you don't have that right support, it will make you question yourself and think of, okay, such and such said this about me. Is it true? Why? Because you don't have those positive support to reinforce it. People are going to say negative things about you, whether you're doing good or doing bad. That's just human nature. But the key is you have to have more positives to outweigh the negatives. You can't say, okay, I'm going to never have anything negative to say, never ever, because that's not realistic, right? We're trying to be realistic. No ordinary woman is realistic to have that extraordinary life. So you have to have more positives to outweigh the negatives. Just think of being on a balance beam, right? So you have the negatives and the positives are equal. You don't want that. Or you don't want more negatives than positives. You want more positives than negatives. And you can't get rid of the negatives, but you can outweigh the negatives with more positives. And so that should be one of your goals. That would be a great commitment going into 2021, is that I'm going to outweigh these negatives with more positives. Great. And so what can you do? Because I'm convinced that you are ready for your 2021 to be the best year ever. And I just been feeling, and I mean, like ever since COVID and all of these other things have been messing up everybody's 2020. For some reason, I got this feeling in my body, in my soul, and I am just trying to spread it to everybody that I can that 2021 cannot help but be your best year. Could start off your best year because every year is going to be your best year. After 2021, you want to set it off the right way. So you need to go ahead and start making a list of what you want to be committed to, and then think about things from the past where you've made commitments and you kind of like didn't follow all the way through. You slacked off and you didn't, get to the finish line, and then put some action steps in place. And yes, it sounds easier said than done, but practice makes things a little more easier. A little more easier? No, a little easier. So that when you do face a hurdle or an obstacle or a barrier, you're more able to sustain it and get over it. But if you never start, then you never know what's ahead of you, and you never know what you need to do to overcome anything, because you need to have some steps in place to help you stay committed. Okay. You need to solidify the deal. And I always give this like call to action for people to do assignments at the end of each of the Girl Talks with Virginia, because, as the Bible say, when you write out make the vision plain, and you have to make it plain. The only way you can make a vision plain is if you write it out. Because if you try to keep it in your head will play tricks on you, just like what your loved ones do when they tell you, yeah, you can do it. No, you can't. Yes, you can. Your brain does the same thing to you. Sometimes we think our brain works for us because it's a part of our body, but your brain is a tricky thing, and you have to outsmart your brain. Yes, that's right. But you know what, Queen B? I'm praying for your baby. I see you on social media with your baby all the time, and I pray for her that she gets a speedy recovery, because by his stripes we are healed, right? He already paid the burden for our stripes, and I'm praying in agreement with you that your baby will get well soon, and at least out of ICU. And the thing about that is that, it's not a perfect opportunity, for lack of a better word, but while you're there, in the room with her, sitting there watching her, there'll be a perfect opportunity for you to do some research on what school you want to go to, a perfect opportunity for you to even do some your own education, like buy you some cheap books from Amazon about whatever field you're trying to go into or whatever history you're interested in, because you want to continue to oil your wheel, right? You don't want to ever have an opportunity where you stop oiling your wheel, because, like I say, barriers will come. Barriers will try to keep you from oiling your wheel so that it gets rusty. And so you want to make sure that you continuously oil your wheel, no matter what, little piece of oil it is. You want to go to school, but you want to keep oiling your wheel, even if it's going to check out a book from the public library. And I think right now they probably have the ebooks. If you got a library card, you can get books off of ebooks instead of having to go in and get a hard copy book. But you know what? Don't let any barriers, and I'm pretty spiritual myself. I don't mean to violate anybody, but the devil will try to keep you from your prosperity. And he will use whatever weapon he needs to use to try to keep you from your extraordinary life. Okay? Amen. In Jesus' name. By the stripes we're healed. But you know what? I'm confident that you are ready for an extraordinary life, a supernatural lifestyle. So if you want to continue, taking this journey with me to be no ordinary woman and living an extraordinary life, be sure to subscribe so that you won't miss any of these episodes, because we fired up and we ready. I want to help you get to your next step, to your extraordinary life. I want to be your motivation to help you to tune into your why, to keep going, reduce those options, stop talking yourself out of your greatness, stick to your why, and then do those self-assessments in real time, realistic, reality type of self-assessments. So next week, we're still in this series of the No Ordinary Woman, trying to live our extraordinary lives. And so we're going to talk about how you can use some elements of community, because community doesn't always have to be blood relatives. It doesn't always have to be the next door neighbor. It doesn't always have to be friends. But there are ways to find those positive community outlets that's going to help you to live your extraordinary life. Are y'all ready? Okay, what? How many days we got to New Year's? Like maybe a week? No, less than a week. About 5, 6 days. I'm ready. I'm fired up. I'm gearing up for 2021. I am making my commitments plain. I'm writing my commitments out. I have my why, my motive. I have few options. That way I cannot talk myself out of what I want in my life. And I am doing some self-assessments to make sure I am on point. I know my weaknesses and I know my strengths. And I use my strengths to overcome my weaknesses. I'm not going to act like I don't have any weaknesses. That's not what a no ordinary woman does. She knows her weaknesses and she knows her strengths, and she uses those weaknesses to overcome those weaknesses. So let's get it. So thank you for tuning in. I hope you've been blessed. I'm sure you've been blessed. I want to make sure that continue to strive to be this extraordinary person, because you are no ordinary woman. And I want to make sure that you have what you need, because I don't want to do this by myself. I have too much knowledge. I have too much experience to sit here and hold this to myself, besides giving it to the community and giving it to everybody else, so everybody else can have more opportunities, more insight, more tips and tools, so you can start living your extraordinary life. Okay? So see you all next week. Thank you, Janice, for tuning in. Thank you, Miss Queen B, for tuning in. If you're watching the replay, thank you for tuning in. Use those steps and those tips. And guess what? Feel free to DM me, send me some additional comments. Hey, I even give 15-minute free sessions to kind of brainstorm and target what some of your goals and some of your commitments are and can be. So DM me, message me, comment, send smoke signals, whatever you need to do to get in touch. But I'm here for you to make sure that your 2021 is going to start off on the right track by being committed to the goals that you want, so you can have the best life that you deserve as a woman. Okay? So being real, I love y'all. Be bold, be blessed, be a believer. Okay, Janice says she ready. Girl talk. Will that be on this channel? Yes, Queen B, this is what this is. I do every Monday at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's called Girl Talk with Virginia. But I also sometimes have like a series of special topics that I've been moved in my heart to give to the women. And so Girl Talk with Virginia is every Monday. It's on my Facebook, Prosper Under Pressure, and it's also on my YouTube channel. So if you ever miss it, you can always go back and watch the replay. Been looking at free courses, but never thought about getting books. Yes, books. I'm the queen of books, child. I love books. Amazon is what's up. You keep being spiritual. We need that. I know. I love my spirit. I love some Jesus. I just got to give it to you, child. Girl talk. Yes, Girl Talk with Virginia. 4 days to New Year's. Ooh, I'm ready. This 2021. I'm so excited. I just can't contain myself. Great chat. Love y'all. See y'all next week. Yes, ma'am. See y'all next week. Be bold, be blessed, be a believer. Bye, Miss Janice. See, that's what I love, the interaction, baby. Yes. Let's girl talk. So see y'all next week. Watch the replay. Take your notes. Do your homework. We'll talk next week.